The U.S. representative from Tennessee is Andy Ogles. He is calling this morning for brand new state oversight of the Nashville Electric Service.
This comes, of course, after the ice storm and complaints about how this whole thing has been handled. Representative Ogles joining us live this morning now to talk about what this could mean for NES and how weather emergencies are handled in the future. Representative, good morning. Let's just start here. What do you want to see done?
Well, you know, I think it's been demonstrated that the General Assembly, the Tennessee General Assembly, needs to step in. The current director needs to resign, and they need to take over the board. This storm was coming. We knew it was coming, that we haven't had proper canopy management in Nashville. And you look at the surrounding areas. You know, I live out in a rural area where you might expect to be hit harder, and we weren't because our power companies were doing the right thing. We have a farm, and they literally had come through recently and cut the trees down. And so, look, you know, DEI has been the priority of NES, and now when it was critical and people were depending on them to deliver the service that they pay for, NES failed. And so she needs to go, the board needs to go. We need to have a company, a power company that's focused on one thing, which is electricity, not woke BS.
Representative Ogles, you mentioned DEI right there, and I think we need to touch on this here very quickly because I think there are a lot of people who don't understand what you're talking about. Can you give us facts about the alleged DEI money that was spent on things that a lot of people claim should have been used on other things?
Yeah, so while they were cutting the budget for cutting branches and the canopy, managing the way they're supposed to do, they were spending money on a consultant to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh, and by the way, when 90,000 people were without power last week, they had a board meeting, and you know what they talked about? They talked about DEI. So this is nonsense. They've proven that they have no idea what the people of Nashville want, which is them to deliver electricity, not DEI, diversity, and you know, all this other nonsense that's been going on within the poor management, the bad management. Look, she's got to go. They need to go. People have died as a result of this incompetence. Enough is enough. You still have roughly 20,000 people without power. This is unacceptable. Again, I live in a rural area. I would expect for my area to be without power for a week, not Nashville, Tennessee. And so this is unacceptable. They have the budget. They have the manpower. This should not have happened, and there should be consequences for it.
Representative, the current structure of NES right now is made up where the mayor appoints the board members, and then the board members can go forth and then elect the president at this point, or hire the president. In your opinion, you were a county mayor just a few years ago yourself. The way that the utility company is set up down to the south of us there in Murray County is they have a cooperative where they have members who are elected instead of appointed. Would you be in favor of something like that? Perhaps maybe the elected people here in Tennessee should elect board members instead of having the state or the city appoint them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's got to be some accountability mechanism. So whether that's accountability to the General Assembly or to those in the community who elect those directors, whatever the system that needs to be done, I'm for it. But the current system, look, you have a woke mayor who has woke ideology. He's ruining Nashville, and now you have a power company that is ruining Nashville. Again, let me just reiterate, while people were without power last week, they, in their board meeting, discussed DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Representative
the only
Ogles,
thing they should have been talking about is how are they going to restore power to Nashville, not this woke nonsense.
I want to ask you about something because as part of our reporting, we've looked at the facts within documents that are budget documents, right, for NES, looking at where money has either been allocated or taken away for certain line items. And just yesterday, the CEO of NES said that they did not, in fact, take away money for tree trimming, which seems contradictory to what we're seeing in the budgeting. What do you make of that? Just not referring to DEI or anything like that, but when we're looking at just the facts of the budgeting here. Have you looked at that?
I mean, Based off of what I've seen, roughly $7 million could have been allocated to managing the canopy. It was not used. It was not utilized. And clearly, you know, I'm someone who travels through Nashville regularly. And so I see and get it. I understand the streets are beautiful, right? You don't necessarily want to quote unquote butcher the trees. But when those power lines are over, or those branches are over power lines, you have no other option. I mean, I was just driving around the area around Vanderbilt just this last week, and there was branches and trees down everywhere, and I can understand and see why they were without power for a period in time. And so again, she has a job to do, and if she doesn't want to do that job, if she's incapable of doing that job, her directive, which is delivering electricity safely and securely to the people of Nashville, then she needs to go find another career. It's that simple. Her job is not to bring wokeness into Nashville. Her job is not to bring wokeness into the electric company. Her job is to manage the electric company. Her job is to manage that canopy and make sure people are safe and warm, especially when you have sub-zero temperatures. So enough is enough. Enough, you know, dancing around the issue. She needs to be fired. She should have already been fired. The board needs to go, and I would encourage, strongly ask, I'm sending a letter asking the General Assembly to step in immediately to take over NES and make sure that the future is bright and warm for the people of Nashville.
All right, Representative Ogles, thank you so much. By the way, we should mention by name the CEO of NES is Teresa Broyles-Applin, in the event that we had not mentioned that so far. And also do want to let you know that we'll continue to stay on top of the story. We're working from an accountability perspective as well. And should say thank you to all the linemen who were out there working.
Absolutely.
We know that they are
in the cold and working hard,
breaking their backs out there trying to get power on for people. Representative Ogles, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.